Legendary wide receiver Randy Moss is battling a cancer diagnosis. The announcement came from the NFL and it was very sudden and shocking to all of us. But we all know Randy Moss. He's very strong, great, tough, and resilient, and we know he's going to battle this thing with everything he's got and he's going to win. Soon enough, Randy is going to go back to doing what he loves and what he is best at, being an influential figure for generations to come. We love you, Randy, and we are all behind you and we're praying for you every step of the way. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Patriots Worldwide. Welcome back to the podcast. Today I will be talking about our loss versus the Indianapolis Colts and give my thoughts, predictions, and opinions on the upcoming matchup versus the Arizona Cardinals. Without further ado, let's jump right into it and begin. So going into this game, there really wasn't much to expect. A lot of us thought the Patriots were going to lose. Some of us wanted them to win. But at the end of the day, I still think we put up a good fight for the most part, and I stand by that. My biggest takeaway from this game, however, was our red zone offense was very ineffective, and really just watching the highlights over again, I saw that this offensive line is just very soft. I understand they're backups, second stringers, third stringers, whatever, but there really isn't an excuse for being this bad. I'm not saying it's the worst O-line, but definitely one of the worst ones I've seen in a very long time. Our biggest takeaways and brightest spots are, as always, Drake May looked really good. Christian Gonzalez had an interception, really just blossoming into the superstar defensive back that he's meant to be. Running back Antonio Gibson had himself a great game, and really, to me, cemented himself as the running back one, and he should have been for a very long time. No disrespect to Ramondre over here, but Ramondre is a one-dimensional power back, where Gibson is very versatile and can take on much more responsibility than Ramondre can. And if you think back to the Patriots dynasty, especially the latter half, the glory days, James White was very prominent in the receiving role, and he played a major part on that offense, especially in the receiving category. When everyone was blanketed in coverage, James White was always open, being old reliable, getting yardage for Tom Brady or for any quarterback who threw his way. And that's the type of role Antonio Gibson needs to play, and he's filling the James White role perfectly in my mind, and we have him for at least 2 more years. So hopefully we can elevate him and make him the player that he's supposed to be, and really just continue down the stretch with him, because to me, he's the number 1 running back on this team because he's more versatile and he can catch. Going forward, I expect to see more out of him for these next 4 weeks, and we'll see what happens. Austin Hooper had a pretty good game, scoring a touchdown and stepping in for Hunter Henry after he needed to sit a few drives out. Hooper, to me, is really just underappreciated and doesn't get the credit he deserves. Back in March of 24, I thought he was just going to be another one-and-done tight end, and we were going to move on this upcoming offseason and really just forget Hooper even played for the Patriots. But he's holding his own, and he's the perfect complementary tight end for Hunter Henry, and really any team could use him and benefit from him and his abilities. Alex Van Pelt and Hooper have history, and it shows. Van Pelt trusts him and really gets him involved more, and hopefully Hooper continues to get involved down the stretch of the final 4 games this season. The only downside of Hooper's touchdown is that it's his second of the year, which ties the Patriots team this season for most touchdowns receptions by one player, which is sad when you think about it, but when you look back at the grand picture of this all and see how bad this offense is and really just underwhelming in terms of receivers, it makes a lot of sense. But Austin Hooper, he deserves his flowers, and more people should be talking about him, and I hope to see that we sign him to a contract extension real soon. And for our secondary, Christian Gonzalez recorded his 2nd interception on the year, really just blossoming into that lockdown star cornerback that we all want him to become and the player he is destined to be. Truthfully, we do not deserve Christian Gonzalez, but a lot of times things just work out in our favor. Alex Austin made his season debut versus the Colts, and he played really well. Unfortunately, up until the end, he did draw a pass interference penalty, which could have gone both ways looking back at it. But unlike Christian Gonzalez, that did not fall into our favor and ended up working out for the Indianapolis Colts, which ultimately resulted in us losing the game because of that play that shifted their momentum. Kyle Duggar, to me, he really just doesn't have it anymore. He's outgrown his usefulness, and he ended up giving up the game-winning touchdown. I know every defensive back and really every player cannot be perfect, but with Kyle Duggar, I don't know. Maybe he turns it around. Maybe not. We'll see. And lastly, for the quarterback, Drake May, didn't have his best game, but he definitely had a good game, showing that he has potential, and we have not seen the best of him yet. And honestly, to me, he's saying to us right now that this is why we should buy into him and believe in him, as he's getting it done with this surrounding cast, and he can only get better if we surround him with better talent. Same can be said for a lot of quarterbacks, but with Drake's potential, it just seems limitless. At the end of the game, the Patriots lost in heartbreaking fashion 25-24 after the Colts converted on a successful two-point conversion to take the lead with about just under a minute left. The Patriots offense had one last gasp and tried Joey Sly to kick a 68-yard field goal, which obviously would have set an NFL record. And the sad part is it missed by a few inches. Joey Sly has a lead foot and really just a lot of guts to even attempt that. But at the same time, you really don't know who to point the fingers at if you had to. The defense could have played better. The offense could have played better. The one segment that people keep pointing to is after the Christian Gonzalez interception with about 8 minutes remaining, the Patriots did not manage the clock well by calling 3 consecutive running plays. I wasn't against the idea, as to me that's the common thing you should do, just to drain the clock, but you got to pick up first downs. You got to switch it up a little, because I'm sure if the fans are expecting running plays, why wouldn't the defense be as well? Ultimately, it was a heartbreaking loss, the first time the Colts won in Foxborough in the regular season since 2006, which is a very mind-blowing statistic, as 2006 was 18 years ago. After losing to the Colts, the Patriots have officially been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Pretty ironically fitting that our old division rival, the Colts, and overall rival in general, have put the final nail in the coffin on the Patriots' 2024 playoff hopes. Given how the Patriots are this season, I expect Arizona to be a very difficult matchup for New England, but the keys to victory to me: put Christian Gonzalez on Marvin Harrison Jr., keep Kyler Murray uncomfortable in the pocket, and just get opened if you're a Patriots receiver. Do your best. Create separation the best you can, even if it's by a few centimeters or a note card. Shout out Gene Steratore. But if we can give Drake May time in the pocket, open up some lanes for him to run, hopefully he slides and protects himself, scores a couple of touchdowns, and get Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper involved, because Hunter Henry always seems to show up late in the Patriots seasons. So anything could happen. As much as I don't expect this Patriots team to win, I really hope we pull off the victory. Potentially our last one of the season and our last chance to really get a victory of the season, just given the strength of our next 4 opponents. But like I said, make Kyler Murray uncomfortable, lock down Marvin Harrison Jr., and I just really hope Drake has a 2-touchdown performance, maybe even a rushing touchdown included. What would be really nice is another Christian Gonzalez interception. Those never get old, and they always bring out the best in this defense. Hopefully, we'll see another one this week. And above all else, I hope everybody on the field remains safe and avoids injury, and everybody has a great game all around. It's going to be a very interesting final 4 weeks, and with Arizona, maybe we get a victory. Who knows? Because where there's delusion, there is hope. My favorite line to always refer to, because it's true. Alright, I believe I've said everything I wanted to say, and I've covered everything I wanted to cover. As always, thank you all so much for listening, and I look forward to doing this all again next week as we take on our division rival, the Buffalo Bills. And before this episode wraps up, I just wanted to say a couple of more things. First being a big congratulations to Bill Belichick on being named the next head coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels football team. Bill Belichick has never been a collegiate head coach before, so this is a really exciting and new opportunity for everybody, both the fans, players, and Bill Belichick alike. And the most ironic thing of all this is the University of North Carolina is the alma mater of the May family. It is very funny that the New England Patriots lose Bill Belichick and gain Drake May, while the University of North Carolina loses Drake May but gains Bill Belichick. Very funny and ironic how the world of sports works sometimes. Secondly, I am going to release an episode of the podcast following Week 18, and I intend to have it up between Wildcard Weekend and the Conference Championship round of the playoffs. It is going to be about what I believe the Patriots should do this offseason, addressing the roster, the front office, the free agency period, and of course the 2025 NFL Draft. I've been working on this project for quite some time, so I'm super excited to finally have it out there soon, and I look forward to hearing what everybody has to say, because as always, any feedback is always welcomed and appreciated. And lastly, this matchup versus the Arizona Cardinals is our second to last road game, as this week begins the final quarter of the NFL regular season. It's always crazy to me how fast the seasons come and go each year. No matter how long I've been watching, that's the one factor that's always remained. Here's hoping we start off our final quarter of the season well and have a good game against the Arizona Cardinals. Again, thank you all so much for listening, and I cannot wait to do this again next week. Go Pats.
Go Pats!